Hey, and welcome to I Am Just Game, the podcast where two best friends spill the tea, share the laughs, and celebrate all things queer life, love, and joy. I'm Hernando Del Castillo, coming from sunny Miami, Florida.
And I'm Rahshek Darnell, holding it down in Washington, D.C. We've been besties for over 20 years, and we're here to share our stories, your stories, and everything in between.
So grab your headphones, pour out your drink, and settle in for a good laugh because we're just gay, and so are you.
Hey, welcome back to I Am Just Gaying, where we are off the hills of our AI episode and we transform to Bert and Ernie. So we are cosplaying today on this very special episode of Viewer's Choice. So you may recall we ran a contest for you all to come up with the topic for episode 11, which is one episode from our final episode of season 1. Wow, what a fucking journey this has been.
That's amazing. I'm so happy that we're here. I can't believe it.
Yes. So not only are we are here with our contest winner, Sofi Mari. Yay. Welcome to the I Am Just Game podcast. And thank you for being a part of our journey, being a dedicated fan, a full supporter. We really appreciate it. So yeah, once again, welcome.
We're so happy that you're here with us. Thank you so much for visiting us. Well, you're a throwback because you were part of like the first episodes of I'm Just Gay. So when
I
we talked
remember
about
that.
music and queerness and being a woman in the scene, so it was really awesome to get you back on here with us and have this moment to spend with us and be part of the show again. So thank you for coming back with us.
You are welcome. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm curious. The question just came up, and I'm glad I decided. Ernie, when you messaged me at one point, he was like, "Go check this, share this, tell everybody." And I was like, "Wait a second, I've got a question though." And so I told my friends, and it was like, "Oh, by the way, here's a separate email just in case." So thank you.
Nice.
Went on some randomness, so it worked.
No, it was awesome. It was like something that I think it's something that the viewers and the listeners needed to hear about traveling, LGBTQ, what it is like, how, safe is it or how easy it is to travel as like a gay traveler. And he also as a person with like that travels with gay people as well. So
Yeah.
it's important to let everybody know that information just to like get everybody informed about that.
Yeah. So before we dive in, we did want to call out you are an ally of the LGBT plus Q community. So thank you for that. And we really appreciate it. Which I mean, it just shows by the fact of the topic that you suggested, which is traveling while gay. So yeah, today's episode is called Traveling Gay, Our Best and Worst Travel Tales Around the World.
The world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a
Right.
big world out there.
Big world.
Right.
So we're so excited to have you with us, Sophie. Thank you for being part of the community. Thank you for being part of I'm Just Gay. Thank you for always supporting us, sharing us, liking us. You're a very special person in my life as well. You're my brother's ex-girlfriend, so I love
I love you.
you to the end of the world and back. You know that for
Yes.
sure.
All day.
So
All day. I love you too.
yeah. And so, how you been lately? Just give us a little rundown of what's going on with Sophie.
Or before that, who is Sophie?
Yeah, who is Sophie? Hmm.
Okay. Well, I mean, you guys are catching me
Oh, we're
sans
going
makeup.
deep.
So you are really getting deep now.
Hey, this
No,
is raw and uncut.
Raw and
literally.
uncut, baby.
Yeah, I've been singing for a very long time. Singing and hosting, oh my gosh, 17 years within the drum and bass community. I was originally Sofi, and I got my alias Sofi Mari, and whew, I've been traveling myself and getting settled back in Miami. I was in Sacramento for a while, and certain circumstances brought me back to Florida. So I kind of feel like I'm starting again, but I haven't. I have got some releases and stuff due towards like the end of the year, but haven't I'm getting more writing done than anything. But I need to get back in the studio, and I've had a few gigs here and there since being back with my peoples in Miami, which have been nice. Yeah, journey wise, still singing here and there. It was a karaoke last night. That was interesting.
Fun.
Nice.
I actually went
Yeah,
to
but
one of your karaoke gigs. It was so much fun. We sang together.
next
We
week.
laughed together. It was awesome.
So if you guys are in town, you should come. I'm hosting a Disney karaoke next Thursday at the tavern.
I'm there.
At 10th Level Tavern. A lot of people are very excited about that. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'll post that. So you can imagine how amazing that's going to be.
Part of that
Come
world.
sing,
That's
be
me
my
right there.
guest. Yes, I've got all of them. But yeah, no, I've been singing. I've just kind of been flowing along. Haven't been super pushing the algorithm, if you'd like
Mm.
to put it that way. But at the same time, just kind of gathering some ammo to get more recording done.
So if
That's where
people
I'm at.
wanted to hear Sofi Mari, where could they find you?
Well, I am on SoundCloud, I'm on Mixcloud, on Spotify. You can find me as Sofi Mari Music, and I believe there's even a Sofi/Sofi Mari playlist that I think if you search it comes up. But I am on pretty much all digital platforms. And yeah, if you just Google at Sofi Mari Music, SOFIMARI music, you'll find a lot of my stuff plastered all over the
Awesome.
internet
So
with
you
that.
hear that, listeners. Go
Yeah.
and find Sofi Mari music, okay?
Go check
Sophie Martin. So
me. Get some
what
drum
made
and bass in your life.
Yes, we all need that. Actually, it's great. Like we went to like a soul event and they were playing that and you were performing. It was amazing. I
Thank
love you
you.
singing. Your voice is amazing.
I love you. Thank
So
you.
what made you think about this topic? About the traveling and traveling best and worst experiences.
Wow.
While gay.
So when you guys posted about well, um posted about the question, I was like, I don't want to ask or like we hear the same things over and over about with topics and so I was like, you gotta dive deep. And thinking of a few of the queer people that I know, especially like when I traveled to the Sun and Bass Festival when I played that, MC
Yeah,
Chickaboo. Chickaboo is a queer MC and performer within drum and bass, and is also like one of the pioneers of MCing in drum and bass. And she kind of came to my mind, and I was like, yo, because she also has posted sometimes her travels, and she'll rate her experiences, and that was what clicked for me. When I saw your flyer, I was trying to think. I'm like, what the hell could I ask that isn't the same old every day? Like, oh, it's this. I just same old question. I thought of her travels and experiences, which have not always been 100%. I was like, you guys, I'd like to hear other perspectives and see like I would know if other people would wonder about traveling while gay. And I know I've had friends who even just traveling as a person covered in tattoos has affected them. So that's when I was like,
right.
I'm going to throw this question out there. And I can't imagine that it would even be fun to have to sit here and you can't just pick up and go, I imagine. Because I've seen it too when I lived in London as opposed to living in Miami, and then also as opposed to living in Sacramento. Like there were communities. Communities were very much welcomed, but you could also see the other side of people that were like, this was an abomination. But it's like, oh man, I mean, like 2 BC, stop it.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. So you've noticed while traveling that like with queer people that it could be difficult sometimes when you go to different places, you don't know the atmosphere, like and how people are there in that area. I guess you have to be aware where you're going all the I people forget that we still have to be aware of where we're going as queer people and as gay people. We have to like see where we're going and where we're traveling to and what there's areas you could go in places as a queer person where you could express yourself and then there's areas where you kind of like unfortunately you just have to tone it down because it's just not you know they're not gay friendly.
And yeah,
Yeah,
when this
yeah.
came for me, it actually I had to reflect because in that reflection, I'm like, I actually had a lot of privilege, so to speak, when traveling, which sounds weird because obviously I present as Black, am part of the community. But many of my travel experiences have been at the expense of the corporations that I've worked for. And so I think the way that you travel when you're working versus when you're not working is a bit different. Like even things like I have TSA clear. So, like my name is theoretically, I should be getting stopped every single time.
True.
But honestly, that has not happened in my travel experience. So again, that's a point of privilege that I recognize.
So happy
There
to
are
hear that.
times recently where, I have traveled to places like, the great state of Florida that you all are from for a work conference. And this was right after, I'm not even going to call his name, the wonderful governor there did some crazy things. I was traveling, I think actually for the Out and Equal Workplace Summit, which is an LGBT plus summit that was hosted at Walt Disney World. And I remember before going, I was like, you know what? Normally I would take an Uber. That's like what, an hour or so drive from the airport. I'm not doing that. I'm renting a car. Like I need to ensure my own safety. So that's kind of what it conjured up for me. And I mean, we'll dive deeper into like our personal experiences. I think overall, I have been blessed to have pretty decent travel experiences as a gay man. Yeah.
That's
How,
awesome. Yeah, I'm
how
really happy to
your
hear that.
travel experience has been with LGBTQ people? Have they been good and bad?
I think I have to say most of my experiences with travel in general, they've been good. I've been lucky to experience the good side of it, but I haven't actually. I guess my experience would probably be based on being able to kind of like see from a distance other gay people that have been around me when I'm traveling, and how I've seen how some people are clearly uncomfortable with it, or other people, thankfully, don't care. People are people. We're traveling from point A to point B. But like I said, like London, especially living in a big city, London definitely sister city to New York. You know what I mean? The characters I would see in London, the people, the way nobody cares. Like when you're out there, if you want to express something, you express it. I mean, I'd be on the underground and you'd have the businessmen all stiff upper lip next to me with a suit, while you've got the little old lady with her little, shopping bag on the other side. And across from me is someone who's obviously been in Camden all the time with their mohawk that whatever their products are, I need to look into that because it just sticks for days. And then next to them, you've got the gay couple, loud, giggling, having the time of their life. And it's just been a plethora of, people and cultures and stuff. But when I come back to Miami, it's like, oh, I've got to go to Wilson Manors. Or I
Yeah,
feel like sometimes certain parts of Miami, I almost sense that sometimes there's like a defense automatically as some of
yeah.
my gay friends that I've come up to where it's like, and I don't think it's necessarily they're trying to be, for lack of a better way of putting it, assholes or just bitchy people, but I can physically see some of my gay friends when they're like, I need to make sure this is a safe space before I really let
Yeah.
go.
They put on the mask
Yeah.
when they show up. And the thing about that is like it's stressful. Like I'm recalling times where like I used to work in an industry where I was traveling for work to the Midwest all the time. Now, the company I worked for at the time, they knew that I was out and gay. However, that's the company when I'm within the walls. But when I'm in like a Des Moines, Iowa or Sioux City Falls, it's like, okay, Rasheed. And something just clicked in my brain that's like, all right, you gotta shut this down, you know,
It's
put
so
away your
shameful
right, right.
on
Yeah.
I
making
think yeah,
people
I
have
do
to
think
feel that
yourself.
way. It's awful.
You do dim
Say what?
yourself in areas in Miami. You do dim your queerness. I'm not out there being like so queer.
In your
Right.
Honest,
face. Yeah, in
I
your
mean, I'm from Hialeah, so that's not a thing. Like Hialeah is not like a queer friendly area because it's just full of like
at all, especially
machismo and like
the
like
old Cuban men. Oh, the worst.
old Cuban men that are like they're not
Like just for the sake of
they're
it.
not queer. They're not queer friendly, honestly. They're not.
No.
So I
And
don't
I've
think I've
seen
ever
them.
walked around like that and I've never felt comfortable with my queerness living there.
Mm.
Because I think I do feel like, okay, I gotta go to Wilton Manor so I can be more gay than I
Yourself.
could ever
And
be in
open.
Hialeah.
And that's the thing. I remember when South Beach was the gay capital. I remember that. Like I had an experience. I went with my grandparents. I think I was like 9. And mom, dad, my grandma, my grandpa. I think I took with the Wet Willies, and then I think it was the next street up, maybe 10th or 11th. It wasn't the Clevelander, but do you remember, honey, the hotel on South Beach that used to have like an open pool, and then they would have drag shows, and it
The
wasn't the
pal
Clevelander. I think it was.
The
And
palace.
so my mom, one of her best friends, he was super gay, and I just used to get upset because my dad wasn't always super comfortable with it, but he was also, well, that's your friend. I'm not gonna. But you could see there was tension between this guy and my dad, and I was just always like, why? But my dad also, there's gay people in the family, so he's not gonna sit there and say anything. But we went out this one day, and he doesn't say anything. I'm gonna put this out there. This is actually a funny story. One of the drag shows is going on. My mom and my grandma and I were watching it. It's hilarious. These drag queens are going absolutely wild, and their makeup, everything was as you would expect, spot on for South Beach, you know? One of the queens came up to my grandpa. My grandpa wasn't paying attention. He was people watching. So him and my dad are people watching, and me and my mom and my grandma are like watching the show, like, oh, this is fantastic. And one of the queens comes up to my grandpa, puts her hand on his shoulder, and is like, oops, honey, you're wrong one. And starts laughing in his face and then walks away, like struts away, total en vogue in that pose. And my grandpa just turned bright red and he was like, Angela, so to my mom, we need to leave right now. And we're just laughing at him. We're like, nah, you're good. You're fine. You're totally fine. But those were the days where like couples were walking on South Beach holding hands and openly
Yeah.
kissing in the street. Like that was South Beach. My mother absolutely adored the movie The Birdcage. I've seen that movie
Yeah.
so many times. And that's what I remember South Beach being as someone who grew up in Florida and Miami.
And it
And
isn't like
I
that
remember
anymore.
at all. Once I think around 2000, the change started where it was especially Memorial Day, I think ruined it because there was points where I couldn't even go. I had a friend where she wasn't gay, but we went out one weekend and you're getting catcalled like, hey, snowflake, and people touching you and groping you without consent. And I'm like, this isn't the South Beach I remember. So I find it interesting because didn't the gay community, you guys were getting attacked. And I would think South Beach would be gay capital. Let's go travel to South Beach. But then around the 2000s, you're facing possibly getting blatantly murdered. Because I remember a gay couple was reported they had been shot by some random dude because he saw them kissing on the corner of like 10th and Collins or something. And I'm just like, why? Why would you do that? And then that's when I realized now you've got Wilton Manors because the gay community wasn't safe there unless it was highly police guarded or something for the Pride Festival or something like that. And I just think it's such a shame that people be. Love is the answer, not war, not killing. And I think that's what happened. It just turned into absolute hate and drove the community out of there. So that's, I guess, also why I kind of asked because I'm thinking of things like that. I can only imagine everywhere else in the world that has that. I mean, let's be real, we're not going this
I
down
think,
or anything anytime soon with the way
I
they
think even in Hispanic countries like Colombia, like I'm Colombian, so like in a Colombian community, like there's just like areas where you know you could be gay, and there's areas where you're just not gay. Like I come from a little small town, it's not small, but it's a smaller part of Colombia called Pereira, and I lived there for a couple of months, and it just wasn't me being gay wasn't the thing. It just
it wasn't
wasn't.
okay, was it?
It was not okay it's a very Catholic town where there's churches every 2 blocks. So like, you're just there with like Catholic people because that's the culture there. So being gay is not the thing there. It just isn't.
So sad. Yeah, it's so
So I had to like,
frustrating.
I felt guarded to some degree walking there. I felt like, okay, I need to watch my surroundings, watch where I'm from, watch who's here. Like I really needed to like pay attention of where I was and who I was surrounding myself with when it comes. And I think as a queer person, you do kind of have to watch your surroundings all
Yeah.
the time.
You almost develop a superpower. It's like
Yeah,
that
I was thinking that.
comes out and it's like, all right, it's time to dig into that gay superpower, which I
Yeah.
love. also hate about us. I hate that we have to experience at the same time. I mean, I'm all for superpower. There's certainly times that I can recall where I've avoided myself and friends because of that superpower. So, it's a
I see, and
blessing.
that's us. It's like a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Right, right.
Mm.
So yeah,
Mm.
what does allyship look like for you when you're traveling, like either with someone who may identify as queer, or like if you happen, you know, to see something, like what does that look like?
I think it would be standing up for people when there's not enough people standing up for them. Like, it's your friend. So I would hope someone's going to stand up for me if I was in a shitty situation. You know what I'm saying? I think it's also, and maybe this is the mama Soph in me, but also, and something I sometimes feel like I might need to tone back because people are also capable of taking care of themselves, but also offering a level of protection. Like, no, we're not going that way. I've seen this. We're not doing that. Someone's walking up to them abruptly and you kind of like, okay, this is my friend. You're going to like almost jump at protection and just, yeah, protection and standing up for people when they don't have a big enough voice because there's too many against them, if that makes any sense.
Oh, we value that. We appreciate that. I've gone out with you. We've gone out to the clubs and stuff like that. And I felt like you've always been there, like having my back. Back in the days, I used to get like,
Oh, yes. Yes,
Ernie
I
was
remember.
Ernie would turn up and you and
I
my
was
brother would
loving it.
be there, like, they're like by my side. So I felt like always like my brother was very protective of me, like all the time. Like you
Yes.
and him were very protective of me at all times to make
And
sure I was
that's,
okay.
yeah. Because I mean, it's not enough people. There's too much hate. Like I said, there's a lot of hate and a lot of the machismo attitude where it's like,
Yeah.
and maybe my masculine energy, which has shined far more than I recognized over the years, has come up where I'm like, yo, we're not having that. I will not be quiet. I will not be quiet. So what was it? Mom said, darling, ladies don't fight. And then my dad comes in and he's like, yo, somebody hits you. You better get him back. And I'm like, you know what, Michael? I like your advice better. I'm like, we'll go that way. That's crazy.
But
Because
we're
yeah, I
very
think
happy that
allyship
you're in
is,
that life to us and that you're part of that you help the community and that you're there for us. And I know you surround yourself with like queer people and that you're in the drum and bass. We talked about community. There are queer people there that are like very pivotal to the community as well.
it's true. And I mean, and that's been a fight in itself that I have witnessed over the last few years getting stronger and stronger, at least out of London. I haven't, because obviously I haven't followed it 100%, but there are a couple of there's a queer rave that happens in London right now that Chickaboo, who I was talking about, she'll often host it, but she's also very much just a supporter of it. And hey, go check out this new DJ, these new people, because drum and bass, as you would imagine, we're still figuring out the whole gender role and trying to get over the machismo of it all too. Like, oh, you're a girl, you DJ, you sing, you do. So there's that level. But on top of it, there's a lot, there can be just as much hate against the gay community when it's like, yo, these people are supporting a sound that makes them feel just as good as it makes us feel when we're going out. Why are we going to take that from somebody else? And it's interesting to see how each community does have its set of people that will at least stand up for them and try to support. Hey, people are people. Let people be. And
Yeah.
I
Okay.
just I valued that. And I grew up, my mother definitely raised me with the mentality of nobody's better than you, Sophie, but you are no better than anybody else. And
Mm,
you open it's character, you have it's about having a good character and having good moral standards. And there's a lot of people that I get it. People are taught differently. I think it's all very much taught from the beginning. Especially living in Sacramento when I was teaching a lot of these young kids to sing or whatever, there was some of the questions I would ask these kids and their answers they would give me. I'm like, oh, you were okay. I know what direction you're going in as the years go by. It's like, and I have to remember this is not my place. I'm getting paid to help you with your voice, not tell you the Little Mermaid is the wrong color. Like, oh,
That
she
little
was
man.
six. Said to her, I'm like, you gonna go watch a Little Mermaid? She's like, not the new one. No, she's not the right color. I was like, this is a 6-year-old. I was like,
No.
I'm like,
But
this is a
again,
fantasy story.
that's
Take
again
me
like
great.
some places are just not. I think it's more about education too. I think some places as not as well like birds, they're not surrounding themselves around queer people. So it's not easy for them to, or even black people or Hispanic people or just, people of color. So they're not like in that awareness that
No,
somebody else
at
is.
all.
I do sometimes think back to like, there's people that are just like, there's ignorance out there and it's not their fault either because they weren't surrounded or grew up around it as well. So
Yeah.
it does happen. But I want to shift a little bit of a gear now and I want to play a little game. I want to play a little game. Let's play a little game.
Okay. Okay.
We're
Let's
going to
go.
do
Let's go.
rapid fire boarding pass questions. All right.
Okay. I saw these
All right.
briefly. I hope I
Ready?
can remember
Are
what I
you
was going
ready
to
for
say.
these questions?
Let's
They're
go.
rapid fire. Quick, quick, quick. Your favorite travel snack?
What I call ghetto trail mix. I make it.
Get it?
All right, what goes into this ghetto trail mix? Because I love me a good trail mix.
So, I mean, it's actually just the basic trail mix. I have no idea why I call it ghetto trail mix. Maybe because it's like, because I
She
went
just
to the
thought I'd
corner
get a
store.
trail mix.
Listen, I'm over here
My
like,
ghetto
ooh,
Ooh,
hot sauce
does she
on
put
it.
does she put some
hot
like
sauce,
M&Ms? She put some
mini hot sauce, and mini tahini in the bag all the time.
tahini. Yum.
Travel tip. Bring your little tahini and bring your little Tabasco because you never know.
You
And
never know. You never
in the
know.
trail mix, I'll put like, what was it? You know, cashews, almonds, whatever. I guess I stick it up because it's like whatever I got, it's going in there, and then I'm taking it with me.
We're
So
gonna put it
what
on
I have,
here and we're gonna eat it.
yes, all peanut M&Ms, cashews, cranberries, raisins. What if I actually throw it in there? I've actually thrown potato chips sometimes in there just in the mix. I'm like,
Potato
maybe this
chips.
will go on.
Okay, that is a ghetto
I
trail mix.
I don't
Put
know.
Nice.
I'll
some
just throw
lace
it
in
all
there.
in. But when I have this stuff and I just want it to be like a little more fancy, yeah, cranberries, some sort of chocolate covered, like almond, peanut, or whatever. What else? Cranberries, different nuts, cranberries, maybe raisins, and chocolate covered nuts of somehow. Somehow chocolate. Chocolate has to be in there or life is not okay.
I love chocolate covered nuts too. They're delicious.
We know you
They're
do.
delicious.
Calm down,
Num num
Ernie.
num. I feel you, honey. I feel you.
Anything chocolate covers my thing.
Oh, I
All right,
understand that.
okay,
100.
window or aisle seat?
Aisle now.
Really? Aisle? I'm such a window
Window?
seat.
Window. Give me window
Give me
every time.
window.
Why? Because I love to go to sleep, and I can't sleep if I'm in the.
Long trips? That's the thing. Long trips, I have to have window. But if I'm going to like New York or something, just put me in the aisle because I don't want
Oh,
to
you're
deal. I don't want to deal with that.
okay. What
But
song is always
yeah, I
on
said
your
aisle.
aisle? What song is always on your vacation playlist?
Oh, the Netsky. Everybody loves the sunshine. It's such a vacation. It's a Roy
What,
Ayers
say
drum
it
and
again
bass
for our
mix.
viewers. I want everybody to put that on their playlist as well. What is it? What is the song? By who?
So it's Netsky. That's how you spell it. I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly, but everybody loves the sunshine. It's his remix of it. It's his bootleg. So everybody
Listen
loves
to it.
sunshine.
I
Oh,
need
it's
to
so
listen
good.
to that
It's just
song.
happy.
Sounds awesome.
It's happy. Yeah,
What
that
is
one
your
that comes to mind.
dream gay destination that you haven't been to yet?
Oh my gosh. The Pride Festival in California, in
Oh,
LA. My friend I
man.
just saw. I want to go experience that. It looks wild and like so
Nice.
much fun.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. We need to. When you go, we're going.
Yeah.
I'm just getting us
Please
going with
invite us.
you. We're all
Let's
gonna
do
be
it.
there at the Pride Festival. And who's your ideal queer or travel buddy, dead or alive? Who would you
It's
like
gonna
to
have to be
travel?
you, Ernie. It's gonna have to be you, Ernie. Let's be real. Let's be real.
Get
I
it
love
as
you.
he's a good travel buddy. We have
That's
had
so
some.
important.
Yeah,
It is so
girl. Let's
important.
say that again for the listeners in the back.
So
Yes, you need a good travel buddy. Oh
you know what
God.
it is that I'm a very go with the flow type of person. So I don't stick to schedules like some
Yeah.
people. So like I
Okay.
feel like when we're having a good time in a place, we just stay there. And it's like not like this like we need to go, 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 go. Because I feel
Yeah,
like that's
nah.
not really traveling. Like I think traveling is an experience that you feel, and that in that moment, like we went to California and we were just at the beach, and okay, we could have seen a million things, but like we stayed in San Diego for like 2 days, just because we weren't going to stay there. And we were like in another hotel somewhere else in LA. We were in LA. We went to San Diego and we just stayed in San Diego for 2 days. And we're just there.
I love San Diego.
I mean, I love San Diego has my heart. Has my heart. We love you, San Diego.
Yes, it was like a combination of Key West and West Palm City.
Yeah, it is. It is.
That has been a good travel destination for me as a queer LGBT person. I mean, I don't know how it is for everyone else, but anytime I've ever been in San Diego, nothing but love there.
Nothing but love. Like
See,
beautiful
I love
people,
that. That's awesome.
very open, very caring, very giving, very like nurturing.
Yeah.
Very nurturing in San Diego.
Yeah.
So I love it.
I missed it. Only been once. I gotta go back. It was really nice.
We gotta go back. Now I'm your trouble buddy. Now I'm
Yes,
like,
we're
every time
gonna
you go
go.
somewhere, I'm gonna be like, where are we going? Where are we going, Sofi?
Go.
Let's go. Let's go.
My 40th birthday's coming up. We should plan something.
We should.
plan something. I'm hitting the big 4. Big 40.
Welcome to the great 40
I have
and
6
fabulous.
months to plan. I have
All right,
6 months to plan.
Let's go somewhere,
Honey.
baby.
Let's go,
Let's
boys.
go.
Go, boys
So
and
yeah,
girls.
we have a couple of questions just to continue talking about the realities of traveling while queer. Hernando, this one is for you. Have you ever changed your travel plans based on queer safety concerns?
I don't think I've changed my travel plans, but I've changed my locations where I'm going. Like I've gone still to places, but I like stay away from certain areas. Like I went to Bogota during like a time where there was a lot of uproar with the guerrilla. So like it was more like we weren't in Bogota itself. We like left Bogota and went to like different places in Colombia because we didn't want to stay in the city because it was dangerous at that time. And so like I shifted plans while I'm traveling too. Like, hey, I don't think this is a good like people are like, oh, go here. But then I'm like, my heart and my like that sixth sense that you have, like,
Yeah, it's the
I'm not
superpower.
I'm not going there. I want to go there, but I just feel like that's danger and I don't want to go there. So that's how I shifted like and I'm very aware. Like even in clubs, I'm like with my friends, I'm always watching because I've been in clubs and fights just broke out. And I'm like people get hurt. So I'm very like, something's going on here. Let's just move over there because I don't want to be here in this area. So I haven't shifted my plans so much, but I've shifted where I've gone, where I'm gonna be at, because I just don't feel like it's safe for me.
Yeah. No, similar. So last year took a trip to Panama City, Panama, and some folks on the trip were like, before we were going, they're like, we're so close to Colombia. There's a bus that goes from Panama City to Colombia. And I'm like, I don't think that's a good idea. Not.
No, I wouldn't trust that.
Through the jungles of Panama to the jungles of Colombia? Like,
I wouldn't do that either.
are you serious?
No.
I mean, I have to go with somebody very experienced that is like,
Right.
I've done, like, I need to go with somebody that's gay, experienced, that told me I've done this before. And then
That part.
like, okay, since you've done this before, I'll do it.
Right.
But I'm not just gonna be like, let's get on a bus.
Right. Yeah, even on that same trip we had, so we were in Panama City. We had a driver that ended up being like our tour guide the entire trip. Phenomenal. And he took us to, oh my goodness, I'm forgetting the name of the beach. It's like 3 hours outside of Panama City. So if it comes to me, I'll bring it back. But anyway, he drove us 3 hours to the beach and like took us along the way. And like we all felt safe with him. I mean, he was very knowledgeable of where we were going. He handled all the logistics every stop that we made. So that is a piece of advice, especially for those traveling internationally. Make sure you find like a local that you could trust. 9 times out of 10, I've had good experiences where you connect with the hotel concierge. They'll typically guide you in the right direction. That's how we found this person. Yeah, piece of advice. If you're traveling internationally, definitely find you a trusted local.
Yeah, and
I should definitely jump on solo. I learned the hard way.
as well.
What was that, Ernie?
There's like queer websites that you could go to, like, and travel websites and queer websites, and they give you like listings of people that are like queer friendly.
So I saw you mentioned that because I was shocked to find with my ex where traveling as a Black person too, especially still in the States, there's that Green Book. And I'd
Hmm.
never known about this. And I remember when he approached me, he's like, "Girl, we can't just travel to any willy-nilly state." Like, because we were trying to plan a road trip. And I'm like,
There's
it
such
is,
thing as sundown counties. When the sun goes
yo.
down, you do not go through.
And I'm like, that's how I felt. I was like, that's all good. But that's one of those things where when I realized there was that book, it got me thinking in terms of the question I asked you. Like, so do you, Hernie, do you know that as a queer man and your queer and lesbian friends and everybody, non-binaries, are there resources that you guys have to look up? And that was one of the other reasons why I asked, because I'm like, if there's this book that these poor people still have to use in 20 whatever we are in now, who else has to use something of that same nature? So I'm really happy to see and hear that there are LGBTQ sites and resources to keep you safer.
Yeah, no, thank you for bringing that up. I mean, yeah, the Green Book is definitely still alive and well and relevant, unfortunately, here in the US.
Unfortunately.
Terrible.
But yeah, to your point, thanks to technology, there are ways to kind of scope things out, plan before you go. That would be also a bit of advice. Like, definitely do your research before you go places. Don't just hop into a place all willy nilly. That would not be wise.
Yeah, and I usually, honestly, even on, I know it's crazy, but even through hookup sites like Grinder and Growler and like Adam for Adam and all these things, like I found, like when I'm traveling, I found people that are like, hey, I'm gonna travel here, and then they're like very like willing to like show you like, hey, like don't go here or go to this club, or honestly, that just happened to me in DC. I was just like here last week, and I was like, oh, I was out and about. I was gonna go out, and I told the concierge, and I guess me and him connected, and we got to know each other. And he's like, "Oh, you're gay. I'm gay." And he's like, I was like, "Hey, where's a good club to go tonight?" And he told me, "Oh, come go to this club. They play Hispanic music." So I think just as queer people, we connect with each other in different ways. We're trying to look out for each other and make sure that we have fun. I think also like getting to know people before you get there, so you have like a community that you can go to and that you feel comfortable with and that they have your best interests at. And that's honestly happened to me through like a hookup site. Honestly, it has happened to me through a hookup. I met a guy who was really nice. He wanted to show me around in Dominican Republic. I met this guy in Adam for Adam. He was super nice. We met. He like took me to like his job. He introduced me to his people. We went out to the club. We went out to different places. He was super accommodating, super nice, super friendly, like was really trying to show me the culture in Dominican Republic. So even that is another option for you queer folk out there that want to go travel and want to like get an idea of where to go or who to meet or who to be around.
Right. And on the flip side, just make sure you use the safety features on those apps. Like they have many of them. For instance, like not sharing your location once you do get to that place, things like that. So definitely make sure you use the safety features and just be safe in general. So yeah, question for you, Sophie. Have you traveled to places where you felt sort of hyper aware of how your queer friends might be perceived at that destination?
I mean, I've seen some of that in Italy. I've gotten that impression from people in Italy where, yeah, like, okay, so the machismo is all the way over here too. So everywhere we go. London, you could be queer, go anywhere. But then I noticed, obviously, if you go to some of the more podunk, smaller towns, you will have your fair share of, old English white men and even some of these white ladies, not just, yeah, yeah, no, yeah. And then obviously here in Florida, I mean,
Florida.
but yeah, but I do love how there is a community out here. Like, as opposed, I mean, I'm sitting here, like, I've said a few things where I'm like, I can't believe this has happened, that's happened. I'm still really proud to see that the community is as strong as it is here. Like, I know there's other states, I'm sure. My homegirl was like, I'm going to talk to my friends about traveling while gay, and some of the best experiences, some of the worst experiences. She's like, I'm sure Ohio is not a great place to go as a gay person. And I'm like, you know what? I didn't even think of that. I'm like, Mormon Central, isn't that where there's a lot of Mormons? I'm like, I don't think that they would be very amused or easy to kind of deal with. But then again, it's like, what are we doing in Ohio? I'm not going with that.
No offense to anyone listening.
No offense to
No,
anybody in
I've
Ohio.
heard
Hey, if
Cleveland's
you're from
fantastic.
Ohio,
Yeah, no,
if you're from Ohio and you have a good and you guys have places, please comment. Let us know because
Seriously.
we're open to Ohio if Ohio's queer friendly.
right. I
Yeah.
mean, actually, speaking of, so like back to Midwest experience. So I was just in the Midwest,
Chicago.
and I've been to Chicago a lot for previous roles, and then I was just there for work, and decided to like experience the queer side of Chicago, and I was pleasantly surprised. Like, I mean, in terms of the genuineness, the care, the love, like all of it. I call it like, you all know, like the My Pleasure Chick-fil-A experience. That's what going out in queer spaces was like in Chicago.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
They weren't
That's
saying my
awesome.
pleasure.
No, like, I mean, they weren't saying my pleasure, but like, they were like, so for instance, we were leaving one club and the bouncer was like, all right, get home safe now. And you could tell it was genuine. Like, it wasn't like, girl, get home safe. It was,
For
we
real.
really care about you.
That's
Yeah.
cool. So
So,
Chicago
Love
guys,
that.
go to
Well, about Chicago, especially, yeah, Chi-Town with the house scene too. Oh my God. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
that's
I didn't know
the,
that.
It's one of the
and I wonder,
originating points of house music. Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't know
right?
that.
Yep.
Okay,
Yes. Oh
Chicago,
my God.
Chi-Town, Baltimore, New York. Yeah, those were
Detroit.
like, yep.
But what about
Detroit.
Detroit? Because I know Detroit, the scene musically, you've got there's the Detroit House, there's the what is it, the Movement Festival,
Mm,
where there's a lot, but I'm not sure how friendly Detroit would be. But I would assume because of the music, there are still pockets at least.
yeah. Yeah.
I don't
And I
know.
think this could be true with just about any destination that you put a pin in, like, on
Oh,
the
it's like the
outside,
research
it
again.
might not seem like it's, open, but when you dig under the surface, which I mean, I think that's also a reality of this. Like, it's just, you got to dig under the surface in some places
Spots too.
to
I mean, I've
find.
heard refine the research. That's right. And I mean, I've heard places. I've heard Atlanta is probably one of the best places to go to. And I don't know if that's
Atlanta, you
true.
said?
I love
Yeah,
it.
tourist
Yes,
trap.
yes. They don't
80.
call it Hotlanta for no reason.
Atlanta's the best. I
That's
love
what I'm
Atlanta.
talking about.
I love Atlanta.
Yeah, actually, we've had some of our best queer experiences together in Atlanta.
Yeah, that I've
I
been
want to show.
walking down the street looking at that like city skyline, and I'm like, I'm so happy right now.
Oh, I love that. See, we need more of that. More places like that. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. Because yeah, I'm wondering. I know Germany is one of the places where you could probably. I don't know what parts, but I know Germany's quite open to it. I don't know
Yeah.
about Amsterdam. I would think
Yes, no,
Amsterdam's cool.
Amsterdam is. Yeah, we've had
Amsterdam is
some
amazing.
great
Oh, the
experiences in
Sex
Very, very
Museum.
Amsterdam's super open, super queer, very like friendly, loving,
yeah.
caring.
They actually host a music festival. I think it's called the Milkshake Festival. It's a queer
Oh, oh, that sounds fire.
festival. Exactly. Yeah. So look into that. I think it's called the Milkshake Festival. We'll have to
Bringing
do.
everybody to the yard.
Yes,
Exactly.
baby.
So, a question for all of us: how do you all prepare emotionally or logistically when going somewhere that's not LGBT plus friendly?
I have to remind myself to breathe. I mean, I literally feel like I have to remind myself and make time to wake up when I wake up in the morning because I try to do this on a consistent basis to temper my anxiety and it's actually helped with ADHD, but literally focused breathing for 10, 15 minutes before starting your day and just going out there knowing, I mean, I am one of those people, as much as I'd be like, I'm a Capricorn. I prepare for the worst all the time. But Capricorn aside, I always think it's just, you never know what's going to happen. Be grateful for the moments that everything is fine on a consistent basis, but always know, keep your eyes open. And I mean, sometimes I have faltered where I'm like, oh shit, I should have paid attention to that. Or, oh, something's going on that I didn't quite catch. But for me, I think it's for the mental prepare. take some time to just take a few deep breaths before going out. And remember, I don't need to freak out. I don't need to blow up on anybody. I just need to, it's like, what is it? Do you like water? No, I don't know. Where you just let the water just flow off your back if something happens, because you don't know what could happen when
Right.
you're somewhere foreign.
No, I love
And
that.
just stay close. Yeah, to your people.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that, especially the breathing part. Like it's important to, step into
Just
that
life.
mindfulness. Yeah. Yeah. So for me, do my research. Like I'm a researcher, even though like when we travel together, we don't like have a rigid itinerary, but I am the one that is going to scope out like what's the best place to get a milkshake? Where can Ernie get coffee? Because we don't want Ernie without coffee.
No, no, no. I
I can't
remember that.
do things without
I
coffee.
remember that. Honey, I've
Where
known you
do
since I
I?
was 14. That's never going to
Coffee is
change.
my life.
So yeah, so
That's
that's
the
what I
one
yeah.
Hialeah thing he can't let go of.
Right. So a lot of research beforehand and while there, just kind of scoping it out. What and I think another thing is like when they're like connecting with the locals, like I remember when we went to DR, I think our experience was heightened because we connected with the locals. We didn't
Yes.
just like do
So
touristy
amazing.
stuff. So
Yeah.
like down to when we arrived, I think we were supposed to rent a car, and then the persons that we were with, they're like, "No, we're gonna hire a driver because that's just gonna be better."
That's just good.
That sounds like an experience.
Listen, those people took us at 10 a.m. to a little shop to get Presidente. At 10 a.m., they're like, Presidentes at 10 a.m.? Those
That's
Dominicans
a
be
holiday.
wildin',
Yeah,
wildin',
that is
10
a
a.m.
holiday right there.
Presidentes. And I was like, let's do this. Let's go. It was so much fun.
How you? How
I
you?
think that I like traveling with people that plan stuff.
And here comes Ernie.
Have a good travel buddy. Have a good travel buddy.
Number
'Cause
one. Yeah, that is
he
true.
like no, he plans, he shags it, and then we kind of go with the flow. I do breathing though, like that breathing in the morning. Like I kind of center myself because I kind of have to like get myself together to like just be ready for the day, whatever happens. So like I kind of like, and then you're right, like best things to do like in situations where you're traveling to places that might not be gay friendly is first of all, stay quiet. Honestly, like I'm a person that I think that in those situations where I'm not feeling comfortable, I shut my mouth because I don't know who's around me and who's gonna like pop off. And I
Yeah.
I am not prepared for a pop up with strangers. Like in a situation where I've been in situations where I was traveling through Atlanta and I went to a place which was not friendly and I said I went like this, like back to the because I don't need to eat here because this is not,
Mhm.
I don't feel comfortable.
Right.
So I'm very like,
Yeah.
okay, stay quiet, walk away, keep going.
Yeah, having that situational awareness is key when traveling to foreign
Oh
places
gosh.
not been before because you could find
I've been
yourself
called out for my
with
lack of that sometimes. Called out for that. It's like, Sophie, there was a wall.
a couple of facts for you folks. So there are 64 countries that have criminalized same-sex relationships. We're not going to name them all, before traveling, just Google that so that you're aware. It's also reported that our trans and non binary folks often receive some of the most scrutiny when traveling, unfortunately. So let's be mindful of that and support our trans and non binary folks out there.
100.
Some tools that you could use when traveling. So I have a friend that has used Mr. B&B. So think Airbnb, but for the queer community. And he talks about a really fun time. Like the hosts like are actually very personable and can like tell you about like the city that you're in. They can, create or curate experiences for you. So check out Mr. B&B. Also, Purple Roofs is another good site for booking, whether it's your travel accommodations or things like that. I would also point out, put on your like travel alerts. So from whatever country you're from, it might be a good idea to connect with the State Department or whatever. Well, here in the U.S., I
Yes.
mean, I don't know about that. So it's every person for themselves. But anywhere else in the world, connect with your local consulate or embassy, US, at your own peril.
I would even say make sure that you've got emergency contact info like
Yeah.
on your person, I mean, like even written down if something happens with your phone somewhere on your person of this is who you call if I go missing or if I'm not around. This is mom, dad, your best friend, your cousin, triple removed or whatever. Definitely have that point of contact.
And to
Always.
that
I
point, I
share
would say,
location.
yes, I was going to say share location with at least one individual. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I forgot I was
Oh
sharing
man.
my live location with my friend from from Orlando.
Did you see all your
And
hookups?
she was like, "How many places did you go to tonight?" And I'm like, "Girl, how do you know I went? How do you know I went to all these places? Like, could you share your location with your Lyft?"
It's like, girl, you don't need to know that. You don't need to know that. We had the bestest of times, and that's all you need to know.
So where have you felt the most free when traveling? Like when you've been out and about traveling?
No, hombre, that's a good question. I mean, I feel like London. I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe it's because I live there and I'm being biased or something. I don't know. But I think because I think also because I had my apartment over there, it was like, if I'm done with this, I can just Uber or hop on a train and be home like that. Whereas here in Miami, if you don't have your car, you have to drive here, you have to do that. With there, I mean, it was a 10-minute walk that I eventually got very used to. But London just had never you never knew what you were going to get in certain parts of London. And I thought that was exciting. So I could literally wake up and be like, I'm going to go to East London today, or I'm going to go, I think maybe there, because there's still a lot of places I've yet to travel. But having that access of, I don't have to drive, I can drink if I want to, or I can be sober and do this, like that. I think London was up there for me.
All right, travelers, let's go to London.
Yeah.
Let's go to London.
Oh, you've got to go to Soho. You've got to go to Soho. There's a great gay club near Piccadilly Circus. There's a whole area dedicated to the queer community, as well as, I mean, you get your sex shops and all that, fetish
Oh,
factories put to shame by some of these places.
let's do it.
So
That's
I'd
just
say
for
yeah.
me to mind. Like New York City, all the time. It's like I feel like it's a space where you could just let your freak flag fly, so to speak. Be
That's how
whoever
I feel
you
about
are.
London because I haven't spent much time in New York, but it's the same feeling for sure.
Yeah. Another place, more so from the safety regard, but our time when we were in Amsterdam, I remember us walking through the street at like 3 a.m. in the morning
Yeah.
and not once feeling unsafe or anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say
That's
Amsterdam. I felt
amazing.
really safe in Amsterdam. Like, and
That's
literally in the
amazing.
dark, in the streets, like with no lights, and I didn't feel like anything was gonna happen to me. Like I felt like
That's wild.
this is good. I'm like nothing's gonna happen to me here, and it was like
That's
so like
wild.
I know I was like surprised that that's why I was like, man, I fell in love with Amsterdam because I felt so free, like so loving, and like people were just so like, and there's a lot of like Hispanic community in Amsterdam. There's a lot of Argentinians that live in Amsterdam. Yeah, and I didn't know that.
Oh
There's like a
wow.
whole bunch of because they all like through something that happened in Argentina, a lot of them like migrated to Amsterdam back in the
Got
day.
you.
So there's like a huge Argentinian community with awesome Argentinian food.
Yes.
Awesome.
So speaking of Amsterdam, we're gonna give a plug. It is actually called the Amsterdam Milkshake Festival. It's an open-minded electronic dance festival that happens in the city of Amsterdam. They have 9 stages, people, per day. 9 stages. That is insane. Playing things house, disco, pop, techno, R&B, and dance hall. Something definitely for everybody. And guess what, folks? July 26th through July 27th. So there is still time to go get your tickets.
Ooh,
Planning.
ooh, let's
Ooh.
go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
So yeah, a shameless plug for Milkshake Festival. Milkshake Festival, if you're listening to us, you know, have the I Am Just Game podcast there. Maybe not this year, but next year with,
Yeah.
when we're deeper into the seasons.
Mhm.
So we'll call you. We'll have our people call you
Your
from
people.
milkshake. So yeah, before we wrap things up, just wanted to give like a couple of recommendations of some queer friendly places that I have found, and also just based on individuals that I know. Toronto, Canada. I have experienced that. It definitely is a great place to visit. There's lots of culture there. They have a huge LGBTQ plus presence. So yeah. Lisbon, Portugal is another great place, great food
Yum,
if you're
yum.
ever there. Sophie, you had mentioned Germany earlier, in particular Berlin. It's
Duh.
yeah,
Yes.
party capital with deep LGBTQ plus history. So
And New Orleans too, right?
yeah, New Orleans. I've only been to New Orleans in a work situation, so I
It,
can't attest to that.
that's my best friend's party city. She loves New Orleans. So I've been there like three
I have
times.
yet to go. I
It's
gotta do it.
a vibe. It's a vibe. You go there and you are gonna experience something's gonna happen to you that night, and you're gonna remember it for 'cause a lot of things have happened to me in New Orleans, so it's been a
Good
vibe.
things, right, Ernie? Okay, it's been a vibe. That's what I was hoping for.
It was an experience. It was an experience.
Add it to the biography. We're adding that to the
It's
biography.
added to the book. So
You gotta write a book at some point, Ernie.
Oh man, I have to for real. So, what do you think is one piece of advice that you give to like our young queer travelers or allies going on their first trip to like anywhere or with like LGBTQ people and friends? What do you think? What advice would you give?
I would say first things first, especially as a non-queer person, ask your queer friends questions before, like when you're making your plan, like travel plans. Bleep, bleep, I couldn't get that out. While
Yeah.
making your travel plans, I mean, if they're your friends, don't be afraid to also ask some uncomfortable questions and be like, yo, I'm not trying to be a dick about this, but what do I need to be aware of as your friend? What do you want me to look out for? How can I help make sure that where we're going be a place that you don't feel threatened while I'm over here willy nilly not even catching it? Like, what do you need me to do to focus on you as your friends so that we can ensure this is a good time? And I think that's the biggest one. Make sure you travel plan in advance and ask those uncomfortable questions so that you know that your friends do feel safe and that you're not making an ass of yourself should the time come and they need you. And yeah,
That's
talk about
awesome.
those things and yeah, like try to do as best as you can to mentally prepare that I'm going somewhere with someone that I have more privilege. How can I utilize my privilege to make sure they're good and they're safe? Because I mean, I've had conversations with people before, not necessarily gay, but what I didn't catch that. Like I've had moments where I've realized I should have been there for a friend, and I was stunned in the moment of being presented with someone being extremely rude. And rather than me being immediately like, yo, you don't care about the person I'm introducing you to, I don't care about this conversation and walk away. But instead, I just kind of sat there staring at my friend and staring at this person who continued to just keep rambling. And I'm like, and I felt bad because I should have said, hey, no, this person might not mean anything to you, but they mean something to me. So definitely prepare, ask,
Thank
plan.
you. Thank you for
Yeah.
that. Thank you for that. That's actually something that we don't hear a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think I hear somebody say, ask those uncomfortable questions. Ask the questions that are like, hey, maybe I want to go here, but do you feel safe going with me? Because that's an uncomfortable question that you might have when you're traveling. Like, hey, I want to go to this place, but maybe you don't feel comfortable going to this place with me. Are you okay
What can
going
we
or you're
do
not?
instead?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's actually
Or
really
yeah, do we go separate?
yeah.
No, that is what active allyship is about. Like I often in my line of work get asked the question like, how do I become follow Sophie?
Follow Sophie, Marie, music.
Exactly. Um, no, that was great. I think what I would share, because I think you did a wonderful job at giving some advice to the young queer folks coming up. Mine would just be curious. Be curious.
Yep.
Life's
Be
too
curious.
short to not be.
Right.
Travel. Go out there.
Get out of
Get
your
a plane
hometown.
ticket. Get a plane ticket
Yes.
and go somewhere.
Right.
Seriously.
So
You learn so much.
This has been an amazing journey. Thank you, Sofi, for joining us. Thank you for participating and suggesting this wonderful topic that I think will bring all of us joy. It has brought me joy just having this conversation with you, seeing what, true allyship looks like and feels like. I'm getting
Yes.
all the feels. So
Thank
again,
you.
we really appreciate you. We like to do a thing on this podcast called Queer Moments of Joy. So that's where anything that might be happening in your life right now, something that you just want to share with the world, whatever it might be, I'll go first and then we'll let you have the last say with your queer moment of joy. My queer moment of joy is actually a person. I'm going to get choked up. Wow. I didn't think this was going to happen.
Oh, that's so good. Let it out.
This person, their name is Justin Stewart. They're local here in the DC area. Love and light. Like, this person lives their life truly authentically. It is so inspiring. Folks, do yourself a favor. Go follow at producer Stewart. That's PRODUCER_STEWART. Seriously, it will bring you so much joy. They are the queer moment of joy because they connect to this podcast or this episode because they actually do solo trips as a queer presenting person out in this world. And I recall them going to South Africa for their birthday in February and just had a phenomenal time. So that is my queer moment of joy this week. And Justin, next time I see you, I'm going to give you another big hug, crying on this episode.
That's
You
so
got all the
beautiful.
feel. Thank you, Justin. Thank you for being yourself. Thank you for representing our community. Thank you for being unapologetically yourself. And that is an amazing thing to be in this world. So we're very happy that you're part of the queer community and that you represent us. Thank you, Justin. My queer moment of joy is that I'm here again. We're
Yeah.
together again. We're making this shorter and shorter. Our time together in our podcast, we don't have to do it remotely. So we're here together, representing Bert and Ernie from our last episode. Cause we were like,
The best.
I'm Ernie. And like the AI told us who each other was. So he's Bert, I'm Ernie for sure. And I was like, bro, you're Bert. I'm Ernie. Cause I'm like, la 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 la. And you're like,
So we know who's the responsible one of the bunch.
And I was like,
That's
let's
amazing.
go wherever. I'm gonna follow you around.
Let's go, Hardy. Oh,
So, yeah,
oh, that
Sophie,
was
what
awesome.
about you? And also, again, share where folks can find you,
Yeah.
find all of this wonderful light that you're presenting in
Yes,
the.
please.
Oh, you guys, I'm glad that you guys went first because it popped into my mind. A friend of mine, uh, I'm not gonna say her name. She's just a close friend of mine, but she lost her father about a year and a half before I lost my mother, and her father and my mother were very good friends. And it reminds me, which kind of would tie into what we're discussing in our podcast here. She is an artist as well, but more for herself. She does physical therapy now for work, but in her journey of healing, decided to go to New Zealand. So I will also add to your list of travel, and that might actually be, sorry, California, I'm going to change it now. New Zealand apparently has a thriving gay community and their dance music scene. They love drum and bass. It's huge. And she's out there living her best life. And I'm seeing her post all these drag shows. She just went to the Pride Parade. I just want to honor her and have her. That's my queer moment because oh God, now I'm going to cry. Stop it. I grew up with her in
It's just
England.
things
We're
for
both,
cover here.
We cried. I'm
God,
just gay. We cried.
and it's good. We need to express that. And I'm just so proud of her for stepping out of her comfort zone. We're hurting, but we're living. And both of our parents would absolutely shove us into that. My mother would not want me here moping or crying. She would absolutely love the fact that I'm doing this podcast with you, Ernie. She and I just want to honor and my queer moment of joy is for my English best friend Melanie. I love you, girl, and keep living that amazing life. And she's just as much an ally. And I'm so proud to know that I've got great people in my life that know what love is over hate. I know why.
We're all gonna cry. Now
So
you're gonna make me cry.
I
I
can't.
also want to say
But
one. I wanna also say one thing, Sophie. I wanna honor your mother. Your mother passed away recently, and now I'm gonna cry. She was the most amazing light in our lives, and from the moment I met her, she loved me, and that she didn't even know me, and she loved me and my brother very, very much. So I just want to say that she's missed, and that you are her. Every time I see you, you represent your mom and that light that she brings into the world. So I'm very, very, very grateful for that. I love you.
thank you. Thank you. I love you too. And she loves you. And she would love you too.
Yeah, she would.
Yes, she would. She'd be all about it. But I mean,
I love
I
that.
guess, yeah, I guess leading into the second half of that question, yeah, if you want
Yeah.
to find my music, let me get myself together. Yeah, Sofi Mari Music, SOFIMARI Music. You can find me somehow, some way through that. I've been hosting every first Wednesday of the month at 10th Level Tavern in Oakland Park Boulevard. I've been hosting Music Bingo. We're going to be on our fourth month coming up in July. Well, we just had the last one. We did the 80s. And yeah, you could check out sorry, from the link. I'm still trying to get myself together. There's also from that link of at Sophie Mar Music. Just follow me, see what's going on with releases and everything. So thank you guys. Thank you for the shameless plug right there.
We love you.
Yeah, and we'll definitely add it to the show notes so that people can, you are definitely the light that we need in this world. Before we let you go, I did have to acknowledge, so for anyone who has saw the promo of you winning the contest, that photograph, girl,
Girl, you are
like
amazing.
amazing, amazing. We will definitely be using it again to promote this episode once it launched. So I don't know if you don't mind sharing who the photographer was. It was an exquisite photo.
Alex Conroy. So photos by Alex would be the hashtag, but ALEXX Conroy. He's based out of San Francisco, and we all know the communities out there thriving too.
Mhm.
He is a
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
fantastic photographer. He and his wife are definitely allies, and I would 100% say look up Alex Conroy photography. Amazing. And I think it's at
Beautiful.
Alex ALEXXCONROY out at Alex Conroy. He's fantastic. He's as English as they come, but he's a very passionate photographer. And when I forgot to tag him in that initially, and
Yeah.
he responded, he's like, girl, he's like, woman, this photo was the absolute best. And I was like, I'm sorry, I forgot to tag you. He's like, no, I'm saying, I don't care. He's like, I don't care. The photo, one of my favorites. It looks so good. I'm like, don't I look cross-eyed? He's like, no, no, you don't. Thank you.
No, that is
Thank you, Alex, and
definitely
thank
one.
you, my lady.
Yes, you're definitely still in the running to being America's
Next
next
top
top
model.
model. But no, this has
Really
been a
amazing. Well,
blast. This has definitely been a blast. We really appreciate you. So, folks, please comment, share with us your best and or worst travel experience, your tips and tricks about traveling. Follow us on all of our socials at I Am Just Gaying. We are on Spotify. We are on Apple Music. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook. We are on X. We are on TikTok. All the things. Please go and follow us and look out for the season finale of season one.
hey,
Yay! Yes.
12 episodes, baby.
you did it.
Exactly. Yeah, we really appreciate you all for following us on this journey, and the best is yet to come. So, with that, bye bye. Thank you all for listening.
Bye, Sophie.
Bye,
Love you.
Sophie.
Love you.
That's it for today's episode of I'm Just Gaying. Thank you so much for tuning in and sharing this space with us.
And if you love what you heard, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with your favorite friends. It keeps the conversation going.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok for now, because we don't know where it's going, and Twitter, also known as X, at I'm Just Gain, for behind the scenes moments, episode updates, and more queer joy.
And until next time, remember to live authentically, love unapologetically, and always celebrate queer joy.
Because we're just gain, and so are you.